This is KGW News at noon.
Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney, and our top story this hour is the latest on a wildfire near Vernonia. The good news this afternoon is that evacuation orders have been downgraded for people in that area. Firefighters are calling this the Kesey Road fire. It started last night, but firefighters are already mopping it up at this point. It burned less than an acre and didn't hurt any structures. People living in 4 homes along Burn Road were initially told to leave, but that order has been lifted. A level 1 evacuation order is still in place, so that means people living in that area still need to be ready to go if conditions get worse. Meanwhile, in eastern Washington, 2 people have died from a pair of wildfires burning in Spokane County. They've also destroyed hundreds of structures. So one of those fires is the Gray Fire. It's burned more than 10,000 acres and has forced level 3 evacuation orders for people living in some areas of Medical Lake, Washington, about 15 miles outside the city of Spokane. The other is the Oregon Road Fire. That one's burned more than 11,000 acres so far and has forced evacuations of people 30 miles or so north of Spokane in Elk, Washington. Both of these fires started last Friday. So fire still top of mind. Chris McGinnis. Also smoke in the area still top of mind. What's the situation today as far as the air quality goes?
We are improving for sure with the air quality, and that's the good news. Also, which can't hurt the fire situation that developed in Vernonia late last night and early today, is that we've got some sprinkles actually falling in the North Oregon Coast Range as expected, and there are still some showers across eastern Oregon as well, an area that got pelted with heavy rain yesterday. In between here in the Willamette Valley, we've got broken cloud cover overhead as witnessed here on our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's partly cloudy last check at PDX and 71 degrees. This camera, to Drew's point about the air quality, yesterday when we showed you the Dowels, you couldn't see anything, right? It was just covered in absolute thick smoke. Not the case today. The smoke has cleared and air quality across much of western Washington and most of western Oregon has really improved as it has through the gorge. That said, there are some pockets of reduced air quality. Jefferson County, Crook County, and Deschutes County, especially downwind of the fires burning in eastern Lane County. Right now it's 69 in Hillsborough, 69 in Aurora, the North Oregon coast, checking in with 66. The plan for the rest of the day, I've got Portland in and out of the cloud cover with temperatures inching into the upper 70s. We could squeeze out a sprinkle in the Coast Range or maybe areas north of the Portland-Vancouver metro area, Clark County, Cowlitz County. I think the rest of us, though, are generally dry and quite comfortable today. We'll enjoy that, Drew, because 90-degree heat is back in my 70 forecast. I'll show you that in a few minutes.
All right, yes, more from Chris coming up here in just a few minutes. But right now, we want to get to one of our other top stories this afternoon. Earlier this morning, we heard from Timbers players and the team's general manager about the firing of head coach Giovanni Savarese. The Timbers announced that move late yesterday afternoon. Savarese joined the club before the 2008 season and racked up the most wins of any coach in the team's history. But this season has not been good, simply put, and the Timbers currently sit 12th in the Western Conference standings. Today, Timbers GM Ned Grabavoy said it was simply time for a change. We also heard from star player Sebastian Blanco, who said it's a sad day. Assistant coach Miles Joseph will serve as the Timbers interim head coach for the remainder of the season. The city of Portland has cleared out a homeless camp in downtown Portland where a lot of young people were living. It's called Camp 13, located on Southwest 13th, right across from the nonprofit Outside In. Outside In works with homeless youth, and campers say they've created a community there where they feel safe. They say they don't want to leave without another option for housing.
I think if they're going to sweep us, they need to give us, ideally, housing. They need to give us house keys. But if they can't do that, they need to give us someplace better to stay than the side of the highway.
I feel like they're kind of just trying to get rid of us, you know.
The mayor's office tells us that city outreach workers have been to that camp in recent weeks, but also says a lot of the campers don't want help. Many are already on waiting lists for housing, and some have been on those lists for quite some time. Well, the city of Portland is also giving money to a pair of local community-based organizations to support their work with high-risk youth on the city's east side. It's part of the ongoing effort to reduce gun violence in Portland. Earlier this year, you may remember, the city announced it would focus outreach in neighborhoods surrounding McDaniel, Park Rose, and David Douglas high schools. So with that in mind, Portland is giving about $1.5 million in American Rescue Plan grant money to a nonprofit called Going Home 2 and to another nonprofit called Everyday Grind. The executive director of Going Home 2 says funding like this allows him to hire local staff members and also plan events that can help build relationships.
It's the motto of us being able to be out in the community and pay people a okay wage to do it, and it will transfer lives. You'll see a difference, and you won't see it in a day, you won't see it in a week, you won't see it in 2 weeks, because this didn't happen overnight, but you will see it eventually.
City leaders say community organizations like these can reach young people before they become victims or before they become perpetrators of gun violence. Student athletes at Portland's Grant High School will have to go another year without a sports field. The artificial turf at Grant Bowl failed multiple safety tests, even after they tried to repair it several times. So the school district now says it'll replace the turf, but that's not going to happen until next fall of 2024. Students have had to find other fields to practice and play on, although the public can still use the field there at Grant Bowl. Portland, by the way, now has 4 new city council districts. The Independent District Commission unanimously voted to adopt the new district map last night. We're showing it to you right there. It's part of a voter-approved plan to change the city's government. Next year, Portlanders will use ranked choice voting to elect 3 council members from each district, so a total of 12 altogether. The mayor, meanwhile, will be elected separately by the entire city. In Salem, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek just signed 7 public safety bills into law. They cover everything from outlawing some fentanyl possession to banning ghost guns. KGW's Alma McCarty has the details on the changes.
Thank you to the many gun violence prevention advocates who fought alongside of us to pass this legislation for 4 sessions running. Your persistence paid off.
Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum applauding the tireless work of groups like Moms Demand Action for helping pass one of her top priorities this legislative session, a ban on ghost guns.
Guns assembled at home from online kits or made from instructions on 3D printers are weapons of choice for gun traffickers and for those who cannot otherwise legally obtain a gun. More and more, these ghost guns are being used to commit crimes with the knowledge that law enforcement will have a difficult or maybe even an impossible time connecting the perpetrator.
An earlier and more expansive version of this bill would have raised the minimum age to purchase most guns and would have given municipalities across the state an option of prohibiting firearms in public buildings. Those elements cut out after the 6-week Republican walkout.
We know House Bill 2005 did generate some controversy in the legislature, and I want to thank the legislators, the advocates, for getting that bill across the finish line.
Governor Kotek also signed into law 6 other public safety bills. One provides more funding for training and classes at the state's police academy.
This will put officers in service more quickly while maintaining DPSST's high standards of safety and quality.
Another will expand the services and compensation for crime victims. During the ceremonial signing, the governor touted a bipartisan effort in passing a bill to increase the penalties for fentanyl possession.
House Bill 2645, which will make it easier for us to hold individuals accountable for those individuals who possess more than 1 gram of fentanyl.
I want to be clear, this is not about putting people in jail. It is about getting people treatment and recovery.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.